'cause it's breakfast with Bob.
Thank you, Poncho Man. Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob, Day 2 from Kona and Huggo's on the Rocks. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by Master Spas, SFuels Go Longer, HOKA Let's Fly, deboer Wetsuits, Forum Smart Swim Goggles, Zoot Sports, the original triathlon brand, Quintana Roo, Premium Plus Sports, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest has been on the podium here twice. She has 11 70.3 championships. We got more than that now.
No, that's correct. Yeah.
Sarah Crowley from the land down under. How you doing, Sarah?
Pretty good. It's great to be back. It's awesome to see a women's only event this year, and yeah, I'm just happy to get the opportunity this year to race in Kona again, and off to Nice next year. So happy to be here.
So how do you see this playing out? Because it used to be someone goes off the front of the swim, it's like, okay, we won't really worry that much about them because we can reel them in and they can't run that well. But now things have changed. Yeah,
I mean, a few years ago, Lucy set the standard with a much quicker swim than we'd ever seen, and now everyone's risen to the challenge, and I think the gap's going to be far less than what we're used to. I think there's going to be either quite a large group. There's I can name about 10 or so people that can hold probably 2 minutes back from Lucy, and then I think after that could split up, but I think if you can get in that group, that's what I'm aiming for. I mean, I've been putting a lot of work into the swim this year to be there, because we've seen it coming for a while that this level's rising with that, and yeah, I think once that plays out, I think that group could then reel Lucy in a little earlier than we're used to, and the usual bike runners will come through and we'll see what happens, but you can't win the race in the swim, but you certainly can
lose.
Yeah, and so this year it's going to be quick. It's going to be a little different to what we're used to.
So last year, because we were chatting at Tri Club, 6 months ago, I don't know, a long time ago, and it was after Worlds here last year, and you were in a pack of a group, and there was a Cam Watt who's screaming.
Yeah, get rid of Chelsea.
Get rid of Chelsea.
Yeah, and then we saw what happened. I think now, I mean, if that was this year, I think that you saw Beck Clark and Fenella up the road. I think that group will be bigger, and that may be a different pack. So
right.
It's I think the dynamic might be different, and I think the headspace from an athlete that's perhaps back behind a group of 10 that's up the road might be a little different, but certainly last year I think that was and it was interesting hearing Chelsea talk after the race. She was like, I didn't feel it at all at that point, and wasn't she was in having a little rough trot at that point. It's like, if we had dispatched her, would that have played out the way it did? I don't know. So yeah, I think that swim group can snap people off and changes the mindset, and yeah, we'll see, I guess, on Saturday.
Well, and it's interesting when I go back to after Craig Alexander won the thing a couple years in a row, and when he won in 2008, 2009, then all of a sudden 2010, Macca got all the guys together and was like, okay, we need to get rid of this guy. We need to attack him between Kauai High, Hawi, and Kauai High, because if he has a weakness, he's a front pack swimmer and he's the best runner in the heat in the sport. We got to get rid of him before we get back to Kauai High, or else he's going to win for his third time in a row. And that's exactly what they did. They got 7-8 minutes on Crowley and ended up like fourth or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what that group will be trying to do. I think if there's the thing about the front group of swimmers is there maybe isn't such a strong runner within that group, and so I think they'll be definitely pushing the pace to try and make it more difficult for the group that's got the bike runner type athlete. We'll see this, you'll always see people run through, it's hot, and people capitulate in the heat, and things change rapidly in that last 10 or 15 Ks, which I've experienced myself, but I guess you've got to give yourself every chance at the race falling the way you need it to, and I think definitely those girls will be pushing the limit out the front of the bike to, I think they've got the carrot of Lucy and also, to give themselves the best opportunity off the bike.
So this year, 5th at Mount Tremblant, and 3rd in Ecuador, 4th in Ironman Cairns.
Yeah.
I have not seen, and I'm sure you haven't either, the Sarah Crowley run has not been there.
No, it's been a tough year for me. I had, first of all, I actually changed coaches. I've parted ways with Cam Watt. I'm working with Brett Sutton now. I had, a few sort of issues there. And, I think for me it's a great opportunity because I've seen straight away that my swim has improved. But on top of that, I then had an accident on the bike. I broke some ribs. I broke my sternum. I actually had a melanoma removed as well, and then after that I then got hit by a car, which I haven't really spoken about because it was just getting ridiculous. Like, how many interruptions can an athlete have in like the space of about 3 months? And I actually got quite timid on the road. It was quite frightening. Like, when you know how hard the road actually is, you sort of start to realize that
I don't want to be down there.
I don't want to be hurting anymore, and the pain every day of trying to get up and train through it was challenging, because the thing about the injuries that I had is that you can still train, but it's just you got to deal with pain. And it was pretty rough for a while there, and a lot of indoor training, and I just didn't get the hardening in the legs that I normally would have had as we went through. And so we trained through races instead, which is not something I've really ever done. I've always been like real ready to go, and we're just trying to catch up on the fitness that I needed. And I think finally in Cozumel, like a few weeks ago, I raced the 70.3, and I was under heavy load, and I had a very good race. I was in contention right from throughout the run, and Hannah Berry now ended up beating me and winning that race. But for me, it showed a lot of positive improvement in that I was right there in the swim, right there on the bike. We had a blistering quick bike, and with all the training that was in the legs for this race,
right.
I still performed really well. And so it puts me in a good mindset that sort of everything's on the up, and the training sessions are starting to tend the right direction and everything. And I think if there's going to be a time now, I'm happy that it's like things coming together. And I just think that for me, it's the unknown of the run at the moment. It's it's probably, I know the training is there, but I haven't seen it yet. And so I think, I know what I'm capable of.
Right.
And I know that I'm going to be fit as real quick swimming. I had a great swim at the Holla swim the other day. I'm there with the bike. And so we just, we'll see what happens on Saturday a little bit.
Well, and last year you ended up seventh here, but that's with a penalty.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
And I talked to Lisa Norden yesterday, and obviously talked to other Magnus in the past.
Yeah.
There was a lot of calls that people were like, "Wait a second." Lisa's like, "I was going up a hill, and got a call."
I mean, for me, I can see the penalty. Like, it made sense that there was a penalty, but it was in a short moment. It wasn't my intent in any way. We'd come through an aid station. I finished drinking a bottle. I threw the bottle. I looked up. I was on the base bar, and Lisa had slowed down, and she wanted me to come through.
Right.
And I had a little bit eager, and I'm like, I've been on the front. One of these girls, there was Chelsea. There was, I think maybe Jocelyn was in the group as well. I'm like, you guys come through, kind of thing. And I should have just gone to the front. I should have. It was the rule, and I didn't do it. But having said that, it wasn't me going, I'm going to sit 3 meters off the back of someone and use this opportunity to not do any work for the day. So it was a technical penalty, I can understand, but it did influence my race so heavily. And I think if Matt Liotto wasn't at the penalty box for me and Laura Phillip, I think we would have both probably just bailed right there. But he was there saying, like, I've seen people come back from here, and he put our heads in the right space, and then both myself and Laura had
She got a fourth,
race.
and you got seventh.
Yeah, I think I worked back from something like 15th, 16th. It was pretty ugly for a moment there, and you sort of start to doubt everything. But I guess the training is always there, and it probably gave me a small opportunity to actually race my own race and not be influenced by others. And I just sort of started chipping away. But it's a sort of a means to an end on the run, and you're like, yeah, okay, fine, I can get another few slots, but it's not really what we come here to do.
You want to be at the pointy end.
Exactly.
You want to get off the bike with a chance to win the race.
100%. And, I feel like it probably robbed me of a top 5. I'm certain
no question.
of it.
Yeah. So there's something about this place, though, that works for you, right? You seem like this is sort of a happy place for you. You've had some great performances here, been on a podium twice. What is it about this place?
I'm not sure. I mean, one of my first really great race experiences was at the Noosa Triathlon in Australia, and it reminds me a lot of that.
It's so hot there, right?
Yeah, it's super hot, humid, steamy, non-wetsuit swim, all the excitement around the race. It doesn't throw me. It's part of it. It's part of the build-up. I use it during the week to get my head in the right space, that we're here to really battle. And
Right.
I just love it. I love the atmosphere. I love the location. I love the challenge. It always lifts me up.
You like the depth of the field too.
I love the depth of the field.
I know you want to be on the biggest stage with the brightest lights against the biggest stars.
100%. And I think also, I mean, we spend a lot of time racing where it's like one or two people off the front. And, you know, some athletes make their career off of fighting through and getting a result. But when you can actually run and race either from behind or off the front, you get the opportunity when there's a lot of high-level athletes to consolidate your race and actually race at your maximum potential, because you may not be using 100% effort, full gas all day to win off the front. You can actually play your cards and be more strategic, and I find that exciting. You know, the opportunity to sort of pick how you're going to play the day as it's unfolding is something that I find exciting, because we don't often get that in racing and women's racing with the depth, and that's why this race to me is just awesome.
Yeah, and the other, I mean, next year will be in Nice, and I think that's a good course for you too, right, with the climbing?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm a little mini mite. I think it will suit smaller people.
Yes.
You know, I think probably for me the technical component will be an interesting challenge. But having said that, I train most of the year in the mountains anyway, and so yeah, why not? I think we saw the men perform amazingly there, and I think it was a great event. It showed that the Ironman World Championship can be moved to somewhere else, and the fanfare and the excitement of the race is maintained, and so I think that it will be exciting to go there.
And what was fun is people could get up in the morning in Italy and drive over and watch a race, right?
I know. Don't you love that about Europe?
That's everything is so close together, right? You have, and then on the promenade, you got 10,000 people at 10 o'clock at night who just happen to be there.
Yeah, I mean,
and can't spell triathlon, but they're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that's the thing you get with continental Europe. You've got a lot. I mean, we're out in the middle of the Pacific. There's not so many like fans on the course, and mostly triathlon fans. So I think, continental Europe, you get diehard triathlon fans that will drive from Germany to watch the race, and that's quite exciting to have that extra level of excitement around the event, I think.
What do you look back at as your favorite, best race day? Not so much performance, but maybe happiest moment of racing.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I've had like quite a few amazing. Yeah, I've had a lot of events that have been amazing. I mean, last year, taking all 3 Australian Ironman titles in one calendar year, and then, executing that race in Busselton, it was actually a very good performance on the day as well. It was like quite quick, and I rode the whole thing off the front on my own. I was out there all day kind of thing. And, to take the pressure of something that at the start of the year we never aimed to do, but then it builds up, and then after performing at Kona and coming back for another Ironman at the end of the year, I think for me was like a really amazing achievement in my career.
So with this race and with the fields, one of the greatest fields we've ever had, which is pretty special.
Yeah.
What are your hopes and dreams from this day?
I think if I can get off the bike in contention, I know my heart will lift me to what I need to do. So for me, it's going to be just about absolutely taking each component of the race and maximizing my absolute effort in that.
Yes.
And so it's like hang on to feet no matter what. If your race ends there, kind of thought process.
You can't be thinking about the bike when you're trying to hang on somebody's feet.
Exactly, it's oxygen. It's like you've got to be there. You've got to get those feet and stay in that group as long and as much as you can. And I think following that, it's like as well. It's like, well, how are we pacing this out compared to everyone else? And am I optimizing my energy reserves for later? And I think being there off the bike is giving yourself the best chance of a good day. And the thing about this race is you just don't know what's going to happen on the run. And so we've seen a lot of different things go on. And so I think for me, I know that I'm familiar with the course. I know where to push and where to hold, and everything else, the experience will come into play then, I think.
You think women will be sitting back going, okay, Taylor's off the front, and
she'll be there.
You know she'll be there.
100%. It's whether at 30 Ks, it's like what happens then.
And sort of waiting for her to come, and then
but she may go on. It's hard to say. I mean, I know that when I ran out of transition here in 2019, Annie was off, and I was like, I knew I was running real quick. And I was like, well, if she can hold that, she wins the race. But I'm not going to destroy my race chasing it.
Right. And she held it.
She held it, but she could have easily, that year she'd had injuries. She could have not held it. We don't know. And so I think, when it comes to the run, it's a very individual thing. And, it's the same with Chelsea as well. Like, she went out so fast. And, she probably didn't know if she would hold that, but she did.
But she did.
And she did. And so, you know,
but we've seen here.
We've seen capitulations.
We've seen Paul Newby-Fraser, 7-time winner at the time, collapse on this course. So
exactly. And so
you have to have respect for it.
You have to have respect for it, and you have to not forget that, you know, nutrition and feeding and understanding that process and having trained that they're all things that add up to, you know, that last 5 or 10 Ks being successful. And so, yeah, I don't know. We might see it right late in the piece, a change in lead. I don't know. But yeah, for me, the goal really is to be there off the bike and give myself the best chance at the run. Yeah.
Sarah, always a pleasure.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks for taking time. Poncho Man, take us out.
Traveling Valkyrie, oh, 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 on the hippie trail and full of zombies. It's breakfast with Bob.
Full of zombies.
I think we got that part.